Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about the second component of intrinsic motivation. And you'll recall from the previous video that there are three components to intrinsic motivation, and they spell out the word MAP. So M-A-P, mastery, autonomy, and purpose. Today we're going to look at autonomy. We covered mastery in the previous video, so the second component is autonomy. And autonomy really means independence. How do you create independence within your organization? And it's really important to people to feel a sense of independence in their work and in their careers. As a leader, you have an opportunity to help people to feel and create that sense of independence. And as a leader, if you have not been used to doing this, it can be quite a frightening prospect to create independence, especially if you've been used to creating an environment of quite close control. And that's not a negative thing. When you're running a business, actually control is one of those things that if you have a sense of it, it helps you to sleep at night, it helps you to feel as though at least you have a grip on your business. So moving from control to autonomy actually will help your teams to feel more connected to the business and to feel as if they have a greater sense of freedom within their work, and that will help them to engage and become more motivated. So how do we do it? Three key principles for developing an autonomous business team. First and foremost, so that you as a leader feel comfortable with autonomy and your teams can then feel comfortable with the autonomy of an environment. The first step is very, very clear direction. So what is the direction for your business? What are the goals that you've set for the business and each of your team within the business, or objectives? So we use the term interdependently. So direction first, goals or objectives, so that your team are very clear about what they are expected to deliver over a period of time. Usually these are set annually, and then they would be milestones at either quarterly or monthly intervals. So make sure it's really clear around the direction. The second component then is the expectation. So what is the expectation that you have as a leader of the organization for your team? And how do they help to really create clear expectations alongside the goals and objectives? And there is a slight difference here between goals, objectives, and expectations. Expectations are also around standards, behaviors, and the way in which you would expect your team to operate day to day within the business. The final part to this, if you've got the direction and the expectations documented and agreed with your teams, and agreement is important, this shouldn't be top down, this should be setting a direction and then getting agreement on the goals and expectations. Once they're in place, the final part is trust. As a leader, you have to trust your organization to be able to deliver what they've agreed they will deliver and what the business needs and what you as a leader expect. And that trust, it's a bit of a leap of faith for some people if you're not used to doing it, but the first two steps are specifically there to enable you to trust your team to deliver. Once you can make that leap and you create that environment of trust in your teams, you will notice the difference. Then it's simply a matter of supporting your team, checking in with them and reviewing on a regular basis how are they performing against those goals and their behavior against that expectation, and helping them to then become more autonomous and self-manage. So you do that through supporting and coaching. I will run a separate video on coaching in the near future because I get a lot of questions around the difference in a coaching management style, and I think that there's value in laying that out in a separate video. But this final step in trusting, supporting and coaching your people is what will help you to give people this sense of autonomy, and as we discussed, is the second key component of this intrinsic motivation. So I'd like you to consider as a final part to this video, consider how you create a more autonomous environment for your teams. How, if you haven't got that for yourself right now, how you might want to think about developing it yourself and then onward toward your team so that they can really start to gain that sense of independence. Thank you for listening. I hope, as always, this was a useful insight for you. If you have any comments, I would be very, very pleased to hear them. I'd love to hear your experiences, specifically around this autonomy part of the intrinsic motivation model. If you think about your own experiences and you'd like to share those, I'd be very glad to hear about them. If you like the video, please give me a like. And if you share it, I would be very grateful. If there's somebody you think would gain value from watching it, please tag them in the post. And I look forward to seeing you on the next Leadership Success Series video from Focus for Growth.